Hello, I am the apparently invisible voiceover AU. Let's find out what's happening with that. I'm staring at the ring light for my camera, but it's apparently decided that it wants no part of what's going on. It's very interesting. You can hear me, but you can't see me. There's mascara, overlay. Why? It's very interesting. Deactivate. Forget it. Yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Just bear with me for a quick second while we figure this out. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's having a bit of a senior moment, I think. I was literally just staring at the video preview before, and now it's decided, no, I want no part of any of this. I want none of it. None of it. Alright, let's go back to... Let's go back to here. Boop. And then go back to here. And see what that does. Oh, it does nothing. Alrighty-o. Let's get rid of that then. I'm going to do this again the Bill Riley way. We'll do it live! No, it's not how Bill Riley sounds, but you know. It's a video capture device. We're going to add it. There it is. Add an existing source, and it's working perfectly. It's just, you know, a bit large. Please stop sniggering in the back row. There's no time for that sort of scurrilous humour. There we are! I don't know what was going on there, folks. I do not know. But with a click of my window, or a click of my mouse even, to bring open this window, and let's just make sure it's actually going to bring in Fallout for us. There we go! I'm VoiceOver AU, and I'm here because this is Friday Night Fallout. Welcome back to the Wasteland after a week's respite because I had to make some space for my company Christmas dinner, which was delightful. I work from home 100% of the time, and so I don't get to see the people I work with a lot, which is in part my choice, not because I don't like them, but because going into town means adding 2 hours commute overall, like one hour each way. And I love commute time. Like, commute time is one of the best things in the world because you're forced to be, as long as you can get a seat, and as long as there's space basically to use a keyboard, then you can be productive. Like, I'm always catching up on emails, that sort of thing. I've got a Switch, but I've got to confess I never play it on the train. I'm terrible. But yeah, I don't see them that much because if I can't commute, like, or if I have the option to not commute, I'm gonna not commute. I'm gonna add those 2 hours to my day as something else, something that I can do that's a little more productive. So we're here for Friday night for Fallout. We're back for episode 15, Resupply, Reload, and Revenge, and we're headed back to Vault City. Now, before all of that, yeah, let's just have a quick reminder about what all of this is all about and why I'm here. I'm here because I love games. I've played games for all my life, for as long as I can remember, for as long as I've been able to. I've played games. I got a Commodore 64 as soon as I could. And I loved it to death. Amiga, same deal. So I've grown up with games and I love them. But the thing that I've found over time that I love the most about games is not just playing them, and not just being a part of them, not just voiceover performance in games, which is a big part of my life as well, but it's also using games as a springboard to talk about the things that they raise, the areas that they explore. And with Fallout, with the Fallout series, it's everything in that beautiful post-apocalyptic melange. It's a bevy of crazy characters, of really eccentric people trying to stake their claim in a world where everything's up for grabs because humanity's starting to claw back a world that's been blasted by nuclear apocalypse. It's the golden age of faith in nuclear energy and science in general as the thing that's going to deliver us forward, that incredible optimistic futurism. It's that wonderful Art Deco design behind everything. Just absolutely gorgeous mix of things that go into making up Fallout. It's that paranoia of Cold War politics as well, which comes out in the factional play there. So that's why I'm here. That's what I love doing. We have a Discord channel. There's a link for that on the channel page as well, and we've been having more and more chats on there. I've been a little bit hammered lately work-wise, which is good. I'm never going to complain about that. But yeah, we try and talk about stuff in there as well, or just, hang out and talk about life in general. There's an amazing group of people who pop in there semi-regularly. It's a good slow trickle of content there. I love it. So yeah, so that's what we're here. Now, I've raised like half of Vault City, but I need supplies. I need them heals. I am almost out of stuffs, so we're gonna head out of here. I might even see if I can get might even see if I can resupply here on the front doorstep. That would be poetic. If I could resupply on the front doorstep of Vault City from the people that it spurned, the people that it won't allow to be citizens, that would be beautiful. Someone mentioned recently that someone mentioned in stream a little while back that there is in fact no clock on completing the quest to get the Gek, and so that's killed a little bit of the time pressure for me. Yeah, I could use some medical attention. $500. It's pretty steep. How about 400? Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna give him my 400. Oh, that ended poorly. Or escalated quickly. But I'm not gonna let him take my 400 caps. So... let's bank those AP. Now, as a quick reminder, it is a Friday night stream, and Friday night streams are always about looking at the best things that are happening in our lives, so... that's not the best thing that's happening in the Doc's life anymore. I would love to hear what the best thing was that happened in your week. Always, always, always. Alright, who's hostile? Hostile. Who is hostile? Who's stopping me from breaking out of combat? Look, clearly this is the way we're gonna go now. Oh, we still got a guard down there. And we're on 8 hit points. That's not good. Alright, let's go back and search the good doctor. That sucks. I've done my dash with getting my money back. Who are you? So someone's coming around that corner. Hey, buddy. You made a poor life choice. The bursts last time we're doing, like, it seems like if bursts will do the job, a single shot with this weapon will do the job as well. Goodbye, Harry. Oh, that's the ammo I was looking for. 10 mil. It's not a lot of it, but it's some. This happened in Fallout 1. We were trying to liberate a city. Oh, that's right. It was Aditum went there and tried to free the slaves and ended up having to kill just everyone. Something something omelet, something something eggs. All right, let's go check out the docks, digs, and see what's in here. What do you got, Doc? It is locked. Well, luckily, we have a very high lockpick skill. You failed to disable the lock. Let's try again. Thank you. That was another thing that wasn't immediately evident that someone told me. It saved me. The fact that you can just keep trying on locks. Revolutionary, I tell you. I had no idea. No idea. Okay, so that gives me two... That gives me 2 stim packs now. But I don't really want to... Yeah, okay, you can run away. I don't really want to use them. I want to use travel to heal. Because I need more of that. I need more of that sweet, sweet 10mm ammo. Alright, Harry, what did you have in here? Let's see what you got that might be good for trade. Stealing stuff from Harry. There's nothing there. There's nothing in his entire shop. Well, this could be a bust. Like, I get why games do this from a balance point of view, but it's always frustrating when you go into a place and it's selling just all of the weapons in the world. And then you kill the proprietor. And then the game's like, oh no, there's nothing there. Weapons? No. There's nothing here. You can't have anything. I don't know who that is, who's just yammering away there. And they're all made out of ticky-tack, and they all look just the same. It's a song by Ross Papadello, who's an awesome Melbourne-based, I think, musician. It's just this one line is just stuck in my head over and over again. Goodbye, bar patron. I don't suppose you have any healing on you, dear? There'll not be a for John McClane. I don't know why, but bad Hans Gruber. Maybe it's because it's Christmas, but bad Hans Gruber impressions are my jam at the moment. Such a fun character. Bad impressions of any character are always fun. What's behind the desk? Nothing, apparently. Alright. So Harry's is a complete bust. Don't kill Harry, because then you don't get toys. Alright, let's switch back to sneak mode. I want to get past that guard. I want to get past him. I know I need to stop making the only way out is through joke, but something Trent Reznor. So yeah, let me know what the best thing is that has happened to you this week, and at the end of tonight, when I get my mouse cursor back, thank you. At the end of tonight, I will share my big news for this week with you. Spoilers. Keep an eye out for Codsworth's chat, because Codsworth might do the same. Oh, you're a toughen? Alright. Oh, wow. This bar patron cannot be killed. Gonna soak up a lot of damage here. 49 points! You are a toughen. Alright, so let's move a little closer there. There it is. I'm glad those sentry guns appear to only be there for show. I don't really want to tangle with Cassidy, so I'm out. See yous! Because Cassidy could probably actually do something. I really want to make this last part of the trip a net gain. Big thank you as well. The guards on the outside of the door. This is gonna hurt. I'm gonna have to save. Cannot save at this time. Really? Alright. You first. Because I think that locker might have some good stuff in it. That's the thing I didn't want to have happen. Alright, I'm gonna have to pop a med pack. Stim pack. And I'm gonna load. Hang on. How much ammo does it have? Oh, it still has ammo. Just not a lot. Alright. Oh, well I'm in here, I might as well reload my shotgun as well. For which I have all the ammo in the world. I have no shortage of ammo. Oh, alright, let's try that again. Oh, done. There we go. Excellent, our levels are looking good. Let's get rid of you. And it's goodbye from her. Dookin' dookin' doo dookin' doo. What you gonna do, God? Oh, you're gonna shoot me from there. Well, that's a less fun answer. Yeah, see those bursts? Every time I do them, they're just not worth it. Alright, let's break line of sight. Oh. And there's another guard. This might not go the way I wanted it to. Yeah, so that does as much damage as... That does as much damage as a burst. Oh, at least I can wait you out a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna lose these stim packs. It's too many, Kevin. For what you want to do. It's too many. Alright, let's bank the AP. That's where hopefully the points in throw pay off. One down. Where will those 3 AP get me? 3. Not quite far enough to break line of sight. Oh. Let's use the last one. Damn it. Didn't want to have to do that. See, that doesn't do much more damage than the shotgun then. The Pancore is about the same amount. Which suggests single shots to the head will do just as well. Critical? Yeah, 56. That was nice. Sport, did you pick the wrong day? That weapon, okay, maybe that's just RNG. Maybe it's just RNG fluking out there, but that weapon seems to do, like it just did a lot more criticals. It did 2 criticals. That is more than the non-criticals I had before. Alright, there's two bodies here. There we go, there's our second. It is hot as Hades too. I'm gonna see how I go without having the fan on tonight, because the last thing you folks need is like another sound in the background. But I might break and turn it back on at some point. Oh yeah, let's save. Seeing as I'm out of combat at the moment. Yes. Out of Vault City. Here. Man. Well, it's only 19 points, but yeah, that weapon definitely seems to be doing... Oh, there's someone behind me. Just moping about. Yeah, it definitely seems to be doing more. Oh, and I forgot that I can get 2 shots off a round with this. At 10mm ammo, folks, that's our priority. Even just full hit points from traveling make a huge difference. I believe I've already looted that corpse, but there's one up here that awaits. Darkness awaits you all. Give me that. I actually have two really good pieces of news from this week, but unfortunately one of them I can't speak about until it's like all official. One I can, because it's now official. The desk is locked. Alright, let's unlock it. What is, folks? Where's my help key thing? F1. F1. Use lockpick is number 2. Oh, well, let's get out of combat then. There's no one around. I think we're alone here. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. Oh man, Debbie Gibson. The biggest thing for her when I was a young teenage boy. But who did not? She was awesome. I think they did a, oh, a friend was telling me. Debbie Gibson and Tiffany were in, like a sci-fi horror film together. And they actually made a, I didn't want to lock it. Just like, thank you. I successfully disabled it and then locked it. Why on earth would I want to lock it? Doctor's kit. I don't think I've got one of those already. I think I got rid of mine. No, I do. It's a bugger because they weigh a ton. Well, maybe I can sell it. Maybe I can sell it. Because I don't think my first aid skill from memory is all that good. Oh, 40. it's something. Alright. Alright. This is going to trigger combat. Let's just see if I can get to my car. Ow. I just want to get to my car. It's nothing personal. Oh, sacked at the 5-yard line. Alright, back to the save.
Your life ends in the wasteland.
Hey, Ron. That's a half an hour in. That's not too bad. We'll see how folks go tonight with being salty about the rate deaths. Yeah, I probably could have stood to have saved a little more recently though. Hey, Damien Wise, how you doing? It's hot. It's summer in Melbourne or Windsor or whatever. Roll some dice. Yeah. You have failed your mission so badly that bands will sing songs about you as a warning. That's awesome. Is that a quote from something? Now there's someone at the back of the room. Well, there was. Yeah, I just the first few days of like real summer always hit me hard. And we don't have aircon at our place, so that just makes it a bit harsher. Makes me a bit more whiny about the whole thing. How's your week been, Damien Wise? Tell me of your week. What is the best thing that has happened to you this week? You see that I'm slicking sweat off my forehead as we speak. Failed to disable the lock. Well, I'll do it again. That's a great line, though. You have failed in your mission so badly that bands will sing songs about you as a warning. It'd be great for fantasy, too. You have failed in your mission so badly that bards will sing ballads of you as a warning to others. The other great thing about bad Alan Rickman impressions is it's just an excuse to not move your bottom jaw. I don't want to move my bottom jaw, it's work. Actually, that's specifically bad Hans Gruber impressions. Another random quiz question too. What is your favorite Christmas film? There was a contentious discussion on Facebook this week that I was quite amused by. I'm biased. I have my own answers to this question. Oh, you brought a knife to a gunfight. Come on over, Chief. Do it. Let's do it. Oh, you're just gonna stand there. All right, that's fair enough. All right, let's save and let's see. Let's see if I can make it out and save that one stim pack. Cannot save at this time. Ah, you're gonna keep me from getting out of combat, aren't you? Eventually just, yeah, look, I'm the same. Like the place we used to live in, the last place we lived in had air conditioning. It had its other problems, but it had air conditioning, and so now we're just adjusting to using like fans and stuff. I'm gonna see how long I can go. Traveler. I'm gonna see how long I can go on stream without turning my fan back on. Place your bets now, folks. It's half an hour in. I'm already sweating buckets. How will this go? I don't want to go on. Okay, good. Thanks. Thanks for letting me back out of combat. I just wanted to loot his like measly 5 caps. There are so many to choose from. Like, I can tell you, this year I'm going to make a concerted effort to finally watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, because Val Kilmer and Robert Downey Jr., like, there's nothing not to love about that. And I've never seen it. Because I'm a terrible human being. I've never seen it. Actually, holy shit. Just doing math. Which is never my strong suit. I've got like three things that are my favorite thing this week. I'm inundated with blessings. It's been a good week. Not for this fellow, not for anyone in Vault City. It's been a bad week for them. Now, I'm gonna save right near the door to getting out of here. Oh look, I know I don't have enough action points, just... How about you start... I can't remember what the first action RPG was, or what the first turn-based even RPG was that introduced the idea of starting an action on one turn and having the AP cost spill into the next turn, but that was a really clever idea. It's like, you got 1 AP left? Okay, well you can start like a 5 AP action, and that will take 4 AP out of the next turn as well. Because then it stops it becoming sort of this discrete window of time, and it makes it feel a lot more like a rolling, basically, counter of everything that's happening. I know Feng Shui, the role-playing game, used to do that too. Can't save it this time. Alright, let's get out of combat then. Let's do it. Getting out of Vault City. Let's see if I can do it this time. I just imagine this whole process of getting out here as being like this big Dukes of Hazzard, like run for the car, slide over the top of the car, and then just like hop in and hit the gas. If I had the ability, if I had control over the whole film script.
You have died.
Alright, there we go, there's another death.
To find the Garden of Eden and return it to your village has failed.
I reckon at that point, hang on. Yeah, I thought I spotted you doing that. Just bear with me, my camera's lost its focus setting as part of it just disappearing temporarily. Properties, configure video, camera control, focus, auto. No! Don't focus auto. There we go. Stay on my lovely face. I made this face as special for this game. There we go. The main reason I don't like it doing that is it just gets distracting for you folks. It gets weird, like wondering why everything is suddenly changing in perspective. Hey everyone. Don't kill me! Don't kill me, please! Getting in, getting in, getting in. Ow. Alright, as long as I act first, I should be good. Here we go! Doing the vroom. Alright. Gecko is a wasteland. There is nothing there. Where can we go? New Reno? Reading? The Den. I reckon it's gonna be the Den, folks. Maybe? Because we don't need anything exotic, we just need... NCR? Ah, fuck it, it's gotta be NCR. Ah, we're super low on gas, too. Ah! That's not good. Broken Hills. Broken Hills, we have no friends in Broken Hills. Let's see if we can get to the Den. Maybe we can resupply on gas there. No, I don't want to encounter a band of slavers. Rad Scorpions. Okay, great. Let's go. Let's leave. I don't think I've got enough gas. I think this is going to be a big problem. I think I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm going to run out of... Car's out of power. Yeah, I'm going to run out of gas. I don't think I have any microfusion cells left either. Ah, that's a big problem. There is no way I want to lose that car. Oh, we gotta think about this one. This is a tight spot. The only thing I can think of is heading to MODOK and seeing if there's anyone there we can trade with. But MODOK, from memory, didn't have a huge amount of traders. So close. So close. Alright, Damien Weiss has an awesome answer to the question about favorite holiday films, which I'm going to read in a second. Alright. You know, I reckon it might be worth heading to Gecko to see if I can find some microfusion cells. I reckon there might be some there. There's no one I can trade with. But it's worth a shot. Because the next alternative's MODOK. I've got Radex. I need to take Radex and just go through the place and loot it again. Because I don't think I picked it clean last time. I was in a hurry. Alright, let's see what Damien Weiss has to say about Christmas films. Die Hard? Yeah, Die Hard's a classic. You can't go... It's hard to go past Die Hard. Overly seasonal films. Yeah, it's a tough one. Films that have Christmas in the background are great, but films that make too much of Christmas? Yeah, they can be a bit on the nose. Favorite seasonal Christmas specials would have to be the Doctor Who Christmas special every year. Yeah, I'll absolutely pay that, Damien Wise. Like, it was a, We're gonna go Gecko. I'm gonna pop my Radex. Get that radiation resistance. Yeah, I've got to confess, it was actually the Matt Smith Christmas special of Doctor Who that actually got me into watching Doctor Who again for a while, because I'm not a huge Doctor Who fan like my partner is. She loves Doctor Who. But I can't do it. I love people who watch it, but I just find the writing hurts me. It's that inconsistency, and that's the thing I think that's amazing about the fans of that franchise, the fact that people are willing to stick with... They're willing to stick with a show that has basically varying quality because there's something in it, something intrinsic that they love. Alright, lose perception. Someone pointed out to me recently, and I can't believe I missed this because I watched it recently, that The Thing is a Christmas film as well. Arguably one of the most Christmassy films. Because it's about a visitor who comes down to give us gifts, has a fair idea who's been naughty and who's been nice. That's about as far as the metaphor goes. Part requisition forms, clipboards, yellow passkey. Let's take that passkey just in case. I'm pretty sure I've got one anyway. Oh, Harold. So it feels like so long since I came in here. We came in here and butchered Harold. Poor old Harold, R.I.P. One of the best characters in the game. But, you know. when you're playing a Scuzzbucket, you gotta do as Scuzzbuckets do. Yeah, Die Hard feels like a film that gets the balance of Christmas and the rest of the film pretty solid. Partly because I have such a thing for Gina Davis, which is a combination of like a giant crush and an amazing respect for her work. But and also because I suspect in some ways I'm being a little bit contrary, but for me, best Christmas film, Long Kiss Goodnight. It's so good. Amnesiac assassin films I've got a big soft spot for as well. I love that trope. I love the Bourne films for that. Just that idea that basically, you know, you've got no idea where you come from, and then one day, basically, someone's like, "Hey, buddy, what you doing, man?" And, you know, pushes you the wrong way, and you're like, "Oh my god, I killed someone with a fountain pen and a stack of post-it notes. Who am I? What can I do? This is bad. If I can do that, that means people are probably looking for me." Yeah, I just love that trope. I wonder if in some ways the draw of that is the illusion, the lure, that, you know, that could be us. You know, it's like Harry Potter. You watch the opening of that and you're like, maybe Hagrid will come and tell me I'm a wizard next. Sure, I'm a 42-year-old guy. But, you know, maybe my letter just got messed up. You know, these things happen. It's not a perfect system. You don't know I'm not a wizard. Shut up. Could be a wizard. Hagrid's coming. This year, Hagrid's coming. But I wasn't supposed to tell you that. Oh no. Alright. So if there is gonna be... Oh no. Oh no. I don't think we're gonna find what we're looking for here, because the reactor, we let it melt down, didn't we? I don't think this is gonna do what we want. Well, we do have the we do have north of here at least. Let's have a look around in there and see what's there. Hopefully there'll be some microfusion cells there. Because I don't want to lose that car. I don't want to lose the highwayman, but we might have to chalk that up as a mistake that I'm going to have to live with if I can't get what I need in MODOK. Trying to get what you need in MODOK, but you can't. Cheesy poofs. I forget how long South Park has been around for. That there are actually South Park references in here. Although I suppose as well, that's also the delay in it coming to Australia. Creepy ass door. See a locker. You search the locker. Yeah, that yellow passkey is not going to do me any good now that I've melted down the reactor. It feels like I'm paying for my sins. It really does. It's what happens when you melt down cities. At least MODOK. People in MODOK like me. Like, maybe that's the strategy when you're being a terrible human being. You stagger out. You stagger out your assholery so that there is always... Oh, first aid book. I'll take that. Stagger out your assholery so that you always have, like, at least one city that loves you. And you're like, what? I can't believe you're saying that about that person. They're awesome. They built an orphanage for us. They're the bestest. Alright, let the record show that 45 minutes into the stream I'm breaking and I'm turning the fan back on because it's so freaking hot. I hope that doesn't read too much on the mic. It's a It's at floor level. Oh, that is good. That is so good. There's a turkey somewhere around here. Oh, it feels like a new lease of life. I'm just gonna be overly dramatic about it. Can we find... Excuse me. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning. I actually managed to catch up on some sleep this morning. I don't know what that's about. It was a late night last night. But I did get some sleep this morning. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find what we want in here. Maybe in that scrap of the vault, but I don't think so either. But we can't stick it out in Vault City because we're not going to... There's no way we're going to make it through that fight without more stimpaks. The only other thing I can think of is that I might rest up here, heal up to full HP and go back to Vault City. That's the other thing I can do. Hello. Yeah, I'm tempted to watch the Jodie Whittaker stuff, because I've been hearing good things. Like, really amazing reactions from the people who've been watching it. And don't get me wrong, too, like, I'm not shitting on the writing team for Doctor Who and saying that they're incapable of good writing. Like, I've read a little bit, and talked to friends about the conditions that, like, their writing team is under, Stephen Moffat included. And, boy howdy, like, those time pressures to crack out episodes, like, you know, I'm amazed they get anything done. Because as a showrunner and head writer, like, the hours that he works and the things that he has to do are insane. But, by the same token, you know, you kind of... You can't ignore the fact that that has a very definite... Excuse me. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, you can't ignore... At the same time, you can't ignore that those time pressures do have a very definite impact on the quality of their writing overall. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff I dropped there. For weight allowance. Bunch of old weaponry. I don't know why my weight allowance is higher now. I don't know what it is that I've done. Oh, I thought that was like a... I thought that was going to function as a Molotov cocktail for me. That's a shame. You search the bookcase. Yeah, it really is kind of hilarious that people have been complaining about the current Doctor being a quote-unquote social justice warrior. Like, that, to me, is just hilarious. Like, the level of obliviousness you would have to a franchise that you claim to love in order to do that, it's kind of staggering. We're down to 4 lots of 10mm ammo again. 44 Magnum. What's that? Is that 44 Magnum? 44 Magnum. Jacketed hollow point. Alright. Don't know why I'm saying it like that. Well, let's drop one of these Doctor's bags because they weigh a ton. Let's just drop one. They weigh a ton, and I only need one. Yeah, it actually kind of scares me. Like, Doctor Who in some ways is also like a way of tracking time. Like, I can remember when Pete Capaldi picked up the gig. And it kind of terrifies me that he's been and gone, and I didn't watch a single episode of his stuff. Time flies. Time is the fire in which we burn. Life is short. Do not fuck around. Kevin dispenses unwanted life advice while dying in Fallout 2. No, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. So what else? I'm just gonna see if there's. I'm wondering if I'm super lucky, I might have dropped some. Might have dropped some microfusion cells in there, but I don't think so. I don't think that is the case. Yeah, no, that's all that's there. Because when I first came to Gecko, I don't think I had the car. So, and I've had fusion cells a few times, but I've dropped them because they've been no use to me. Who's laughing now about that, hmm? Not me. I am not the one laughing. You see a crowbar. Useful for the free man. Are you the free man? Mallet? Boxes? These odds are growing dim, folks. These odds are growing dim. I didn't even think we've got enough to get to, I didn't even think we've got enough to get to MODOK and back, frankly. I reckon I'm going to heal up here and just head back into Vault City. And just pop a cap in some fools. Fools who need caps popped in them. I wish I hadn't have lost the, wish I hadn't have lost those 3 stim packs on the way out. That hurt. And I suppose I probably could have kept the healing bag, like on that note as well. Could have kept that for going back. But you know, it is what it is. Chin up. Oh man, check out the, I don't know if you're watching it, Damien Wise, but we just watched the latest Good Place episode tonight, which is an amazing series if you have Netflix. I highly recommend it. It is really good. And there was a really wonderful surprise cameo in there. I don't. And now that I've gotten this far through that, I'm thinking I'm not going to spoil it for you, so I won't mention who it was. But it was a fun cameo from an actor who was a lot of fun in the kind of role that he was playing. And we've already checked out the bar. Yeah. I don't think this place is any help to me. Alright, let's heal up. Let's rest up in the, hang on. Whoop. First aid to me. Wow! I gained a single hit point. That's amazing. Okay. Let's do rest until healed. Let's do it. Let's see how long that takes. Four days. 3 days. My hit points are not actually increasing here. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go, 68. 68 is 68. What's the date? What year is it? What year? It's not gonna tell me. Yeah, exactly. It's social commentary. You're absolutely right. Like I'm with you 100%. Social commentary is a core of what that show does. It's like the people who decry any kind of social commentary in comics and want hang on. No, we want a new slot here just in case. Going back to Vault City, because there's going to be somewhere in there that'll have what I'm looking for. But yeah, it boggles my mind. Well, I guess it doesn't really. Like people see what they want to see, so that level of self-delusion, I guess, is not super surprising. Okay, I probably could get to MODOK in a pinch if we need to. Yeah, no spoilers from me either. I will just say that yeah, it's a show that just seems to go from strength to strength, and I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen season 3, do it. Do it. Oh man, even my water's hot. Hot water. Well, if that's gonna let me start off in the inner city, I'm gonna do that. I guess that's famous last words then? Am I ever glad I saved? I don't really want to stand here, but what can I do? Let's go over here. Sorry folks, this has all been a giant mistake. I'll be over here. In the doorway. No, I have no idea where the person came from with a gun. I don't know. Just come into my office and we'll talk about it. Hey Xenomorph Queen, how you doing? I thought of you the other day. We had a Alien Isolation stream on Wednesday night, and I think I'm close to the end of the game. I'm getting close to the end of it all. Gonna hit the guard in the head. See, this is where I've got limited ammo left, but oh man, see this gun? I miss this gun so much. It does such good work. 56 points. See, this thing. Okay, the crit rate on this is significantly higher. And with 2 shots around. Sure, I just got peppered then, but you know. Check that out. This is the yeah. 1. Man, that makes a huge difference. You're a bit confused with the friendship you're in. Well, Xenomorph Queen, I feel like I'm in an ideal state to talk to you about that. I feel like I can relate on some level. Tell me more. Like, if you're cool with talking in chat, like, and you want to talk through it, I'm here. We're all here. What is it about your friendship that's confusing you? So he's a streamer you met 4 months ago, and he says he's falling for you and has feelings for you. So you've got feelings as well. He calls you babe, I call him love. But are you technically just friends? That's a tough one. I mean, what do you find? What do you define as the what do you define as the boundary between friendship and romantic love? Or I guess there's an intersection of three separate things here. There's the emotions of friendship and that connection of really liking a person and liking their company and, you know, wanting them to be safe and happy and all of that, all of the things that all of the good things we always want for our friends. And then there's a sexual element to it, like a physical attraction, because that can be a component basically of a connection to someone. And then there's that romantic aspect as well. Like, it's like the difference between, you might give your friend a hug when you say hi, but if you have maybe a romantic attachment to someone, then you want to hold them and make them feel safe. And there's something in you that responds, that kind of calls back in a way to them that's different to friendship. Like, all of these things are wonderful, but, there's a nuance there. Um, maybe the first question to start with there is, like, if you're looking for a name to give things, like, why is it, like, where does that impetus come from to have like a particular label to apply? So that's the first thought that comes to mind. Like, let me know like where you want to take the conversation from there, if anything is helpful, or if there's any thread you want to pull on further. No, it's okay. You don't have to get into detail about anything you're not comfortable about, but, telling me as much as you did there, like that sort of that the rest of the details from there basically can be colored in pretty easily. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess from there, so if there's a sexual component to the attraction as well, I guess from there, the question for both of you is like, what do you want to be to each other? Because you can certainly be friends with a sexual attraction and share those sorts of things, and that doesn't mean that either of you needs to or gets to have a claim on the other person. I guess it depends on what are you looking for? Because in fact, there's two separate things there to think through, sort of as a next port of call. Like, what do you want from this person, and what do you think they're willing to give to you? Especially being a long distance relationship, it can be complicated as well. Having a long distance connection, like when you say far away, what does that mean? Like, what are we talking distance wise? Hmm. Oh, okay. Cali in Texas. Fair enough. Yeah, that's a distance between the two of you. Yeah, it sounds like it's a good point in time for you to figure out like what you want. Um, Before having sort of conversations around like what you want to ask for as well. Because certainly in terms of like how you're in of your interactions, like there's a whole host of different names that can be there's a whole host of different names that can be applied to what you're doing. Like there's no universal answer to that. Gotcha. I can, yeah, I get that feeling from like what you're saying so far. Like I can pick up what you're putting down here. Yeah, so the two of you have a connection. The question is, I guess, like what do you want that to be? Like, it sounds like you really enjoy each other's company. Like enjoyment being a weak word, I guess, for what's going on there. But you know, there's a whole host of options available to you in terms of like what happens next. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Like all of everything you're saying so far, that sounds delightful in terms of having that connection. Like I'm glad you found someone, confusing as it may be at the moment, I'm glad you found someone who gives you those things. Like that's a real privilege. And that's not me, like these are all things you absolutely deserve as well, but you know, I'm just saying it's nice to find those things. And the mix of all and the mix of all of those components works for you, like the ratio that you get them in is what you want. Oh, they're all clustered in the same spot that I left them. That's unfortunate. I should have known they would be right here waiting. That's useful information for if I have to reload, which I might need to. Let's just break that line of sight. Yeah, so all of what you've got there, like if you're matching up in terms of your, you know, say something weird. Say it. Do it. Be a pleasant change from getting salt for dying so often. Grenades. Grenades. 10 and 19. Yeah, see, those grenades aren't doing a huge amount of damage, but this might do it. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, don't use the stim pack. That's my stim pack. Gets turned on by you sometimes, and when I am... Got it. And so when you're turned on, you try and make him turned on as well. It's not weird at all. Like that's sharing an erotic connection. Like each of you has that effect on the other, and so when one of you's, like when you're in it, you want to kind of not control the other person, but yeah, you want to basically, you want to put the other person in that same energy, that same state of mind as well. It's not weird at all. It's fun. It's fun to do that with someone. I reckon this might take a reload. Yeah, there it is.
Rest in peace, chosen one.
So where does the confusion come from then, Xenomorph Queen? Like it sounds like you've got a delicious mutual connection there that has multiple levels. So where does the confusion come from past that point? We're gonna go back, Marty. Back to Vault City. Vault City. I reckon if I can thin them out with those grenades, I reckon I can do this. I reckon I can do this, folks. Sorry everyone, I'll just be in my office. Clearly this is the wrong place. Sure, okay. Well, I mean, we only know each other from talking a little bit online. So like I don't know, I can't claim to know. Yeah, I can't claim to know like where your headspace is at in terms of what you consider to be morally acceptable for like behavior inside or outside of a relationship. So I'm just going to speak from like my frame of reference. I would like, I guess this depends. Like if you want to puzzle this out with your friend, then absolutely. But let's say foundation level here, and like I'm by no means an expert on like anything that I'm talking about here. The main reason that I'm opening my mouth is just because I'm willing to try basically and talk to you about where you're at. So there's no claim of expertise here at all. But none of what you're saying like means that you both have to be in a relationship unless you want to be. I critically... Ah, great. And I dropped my weapon. Yay! FFS. Oh, I seriously did drop my weapon. It's on the ground. Hang on, I'm gonna... see if I can find... Just let me find my weapon. Oh, there it is. Because I need to grab it. Seriously? Oh, it's not going to let me because... Hang on. I'll focus on what we're talking about for a second because this is quite significant. None of what you're saying necessitates a relationship unless you want it to be. If you did want to think through some of this stuff, like if you wanted to basically sort of puzzle out like where your head and your heart are at and your body is at, independently of talking with this other person, there's a book that maybe would help. I've been reading through it recently because it has some really great advice, even for monogamous relationships, on communication. Just basically on improving the caliber of relationship with your partner through better communication. It's called The Ethical Slut. And it does have like a heavy bias on polyamory and like how to navigate like polyamorous spaces, but it talks about fundamental assumptions about what relationships are and what connections are, basically, and you know what you want out of life. There's some really good stuff in there. So maybe if you're looking for an additional perspective, it might be worth reading through that in the meantime. Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a good thing for you to think through, especially if you do find and being in a long distance relationship, it being a long distance connection, like it's hard to sort of, it can be hard to guess at sort of where that on and off comes from, because basically your life may go on without dealing with this person for some time because they're not in the same space as you physically. There's no, like, you can't just go, oh, I'm just going to like hop in the car and go visit this person. Because that opportunity isn't available to you, then your heart basically and, you know, your desire might sort of flick off sometimes, because of that lack of proximity. I don't know. But yeah, it sounds like if you do meet, something might happen. It would be good to think through what you like, what that means to you, so that you don't automatically fall into an assumption with this person of, because there is attraction, there is this attraction, or because basically there is this strong sort of flirty connection, that automatically means, you know, X or Y. That automatically means a relationship, or that automatically means, you know, that we are that we're an exclusive partnership. Because there's no reason that you can't continue doing like what you're doing and having fun, as long as it's consensual, no one's being lied to, and you're both having fun. It doesn't have to mean anything more than it is. Like, it's a gift. Having that connection with someone, having that connection with someone, meeting someone where you have that electricity, oh man, savor it and enjoy it. I don't know if any of that helps. But I'm always a fan of, if something's troubling me, hit the books. Hit the books and learn up. But you know, you can do even with relationships. Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad that my yammering away helped on some level. and then I die brutally.
You have died. Your quest to find the Garden of Eden and return it to your village has failed.
But yeah, I completely, all of that being said, I completely sympathize. Like, when you're in that space, it can be confusing. You're like, what is this electricity? What is this energy? What is this spark? Like, what does this mean? What does this mean with this other person? And kind of like without spewing dogma. Like, I think there's a real social conditioning where we're like, well, if I have this attraction, that means X or Y. I went to the front door this time because I'm going to see if I can blast my way in. That was a mistake. 28 points! I was going to try and blast my way in all the way from the front door. I feel like that was a mistake that I'm going to pay for now. 2 misses at 70%? Game RNG. RNG is rolling back on me. It's being brutal. Just gonna make sure that Codsworth is with us. Are you with us, Codsworth? Are you with us, Codsworth? Are you with us? Yes, you are. Codsworth is here. And there's our audio back. Oh man, this is gonna be a quick death. Boy howdy. $10 ammo though, that's definitely the thing I was missing. Because look at that, critical hit, 1 bullet. I can't believe I spent so much time like bursting people. 42 points, critical hit. It's the shiznit, folks. It is the shiznit. There you go. And now I'm almost dead. I'll take all of those. And those. Why didn't you buy traveler's insurance? Oh! You're gonna get back up. And now I'm dead.
You have died. Your village is lost, doomed to die of starvation.
Man. RNG's hated me that time. Hey, Geordie, how you doing?
All the way from just outside of Newcastle, it is Geordie G, 87.
Thank you so much for joining the fleet, and thank you for joining us on a Friday night. What is the weather like out your way? Because here in Melbourne, it is fucking hot. It is hot. Turty. Please explain. Is your phone doing funny things? What's happening there? You kids and your internet acronyms. I don't understand. It's cool? Ah. Well, thank you for joining us, but I hate you because it is like, I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but it feels like it's like 38 still. So you're awesome, but at the same time, I hate you. Keep sending mid-sentence. I thought that might be the case. I thought it might have been messing with you. Alright, let's try this. Let's try this again. I think this is the best way to go. Alright, let's see if I can... Yeah, see, I only get shot once and then I can go on here. This is definitely the best way to go. We first met 4 months ago when he was streaming SCP Containment Breach and he saw my name and he said he really liked xenomorphs and all that, and we started to talk and told him things about myself and he told me some things about himself and we started whispering to each other on Twitch. Yeah. And he asked me if I have Snapchat, which is a question that is you know, there's an intent behind that. Someone asked if you got Snapchat. Do you have Snapchat? Do you have Signal? You know. Took a few to think about it. Nice. Here you go. Now a VIP on his channel. Oh wow. That's really interesting, Xenomorph. So, do you feel like you got a sense of like what his character, what his personality was from being able to watch his streams? Because that feels like that could actually be a really great way of auditioning someone. You know, for that kind of attachment, because you get a sense of like who they are. Huh. Man, they should make all dudes do that. Like, that would be the best version of Tinder. Like, here's 2 hours of this guy talking. To a camera. While playing a game. Oh yeah, because how do you... Thinking about that, like, you get to see stuff like how do they deal with frustration? How do they deal with things not turning out to plan? Yeah, let's make this a thing. Let's make this a thing. Like, Twitch should branch out into like a dating service. Oh, come on. 81%. RNGesus is really taking a turn on me again. Oh! Okay, I forgive you, RNGesus. Now we're back. Swipe for Twitch dates. Yes. You got it, Geordie. Absolutely. Well, you can have multiple roles on the channel, so I guess it's like a special kind of VIP. It tells you everything. Oh, wow. That sounds fantastic, Xenomorph, to be able to have someone that you can trust to that level. That sounds wonderful. Like, that's something that a lot of people don't get to have. Like, a confidant is so rare. Do you feel like in some ways that the distance gives you like a level of safety to be able to do that, or is it just that you trust that person so much that you trust him after knowing him and talking to him for so long? Like, it sounds wonderful and no word of a lie. Like, I'm getting teary, like getting teary listening to you talk about this, because it's the best. I trust him a lot. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, I hope that whatever happens next happens at the pace that you want it to happen. and gives you the things that you either wanted or you didn't know you wanted but really did. You can say almost everything about him. Oh, everything around him. I see. Well, if you've been talking a lot together, maybe you probably could say everything about him too. You could write the Wikipedia entry. Yeah, see this, switching gears for a second back to Fallout, this is definitely the best way to get back in there. So if I come preloaded with those grenades, I'm not gonna waste that round this time. I really wish I still had that plasma, but you make do with what you can. Judge, jury, and executioner. Do I have Discord? Yes, there is a Discord link on the channel page. The fleet does indeed have a Discord. I'm in there most days. You know, I'll pop in at least once a day to have a look around. Yeah, Geordie. All too far away or already attached. I think the other thing there as well, like without making an assumption about your sexual preferences, Geordie, like assuming basically that that you date women, which is an assumption. I think that there's a real power dynamic difference there as well that works against guys. Yeah, sure. Whisper it to me, you can whisper it to me here, Xenomorph, and I can read that later. Or alternatively, if you follow the Discord link, I'll be able to read that post stream, and like we can catch up and talk more about this over time. So yeah, like by all means, like jump into the Discord channel. That's probably going to be the best way because whispers I don't always read. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Jordy. I didn't want to make any assumptions either way, and I didn't want to pry. Okay, well that's interesting then, because I think when like guys pursuing women with Twitch gets complicated. And sorry, I think you might have actually mentioned something about like a partner or an ex a little while back, and I've just like it slipped my mind, Jordy. So my apologies for that. But yeah, guys pursuing women on Twitch, I think that gets complicated because there are so many creeps on Twitch that, you know, all you have to do is like listen to basically like female streamers and like what their average daily experience is to go like, you know, you would have to know someone in person as a friend basically to cut through that noise. But yeah, I guess it's a little less complicated with guys then, or at least you don't have to deal with that aspect of things. But yeah, distance is always an issue. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. There's probably a Twitch. Like that being said, there's probably a Twitch meetup in Newcastle. I would be surprised if there isn't one. Might be something to have a look at. How far are you out of Sydney, by the way? Because I know there's definitely a Twitch meetup in Sydney. Let's get rid of him. 2 hours away. Yeah, okay, that's far enough to make it. That's far enough to make it a pretty serious journey. Yeah, I wonder if there is one in Newcastle though. No one has any healing. Oh, that's okay, we're only a few hit points down here. Why did none of you have stim packs? You all suck. Doubtful for Newcastle. Direct message me, Xeno. That might be the Xenomorph. That might be the best way to do it. Just shoot me like a direct message. You should be able to see me. You should be able to see me in the Discord channel. And if you can't find me there, then just pop it in general. That would be a good place to do it. Yeah, we can talk more about this. I'd love to to keep up with what's happening with you over time. Congratulations as well to Xenomorph Queen for reaching the rank of Initiate. Thank you very much for your company. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Newcastle. That's a tough one. But yeah, I guess the only thing I would say, like, if it's anything more than an idle thought about dating a streamer, definitely the those Twitch meetups are always a good way to do it. We should probably save. What is it about dating a streamer that appeals to you, Geordie? What is it about that you like? Or that tickles? Hey Carnage, how you doing? Thank you for popping in on your Friday night. How is Warframe treating you? Vault City Burning. What am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. Vault City Burning. And thank you for sending me that Xenomorph Queen. Very much appreciated. I look forward to reading it. Yes, Codsworth is here because Codsworth just sent us that message before. Alright, so I need to get around to... I'm trying to draw on the map with my finger because I'm staring at the screen. Wap wap. New dev stream. Ah, awesome. That explains why the people I've been talking to who are working on writing have been like hammered for the last few weeks. But it seems like they work on pretty tight cycles there. Yeah, I'm having a good week. I'm having a pretty good week. I was talking before about like best thing that's happened to me this week because Friday night streams are positive streams, which is not to say that we can't talk about things that are complicated, but one of the things I like to do on Fridays is always, what's the best thing that happened to you this week? And I was doing a mental count, and I'm like, there's like 3 things I'm going to mention tonight. 3 things! Seem to fall for guys. Man, your phone is fucking with you. I'm sorry about that, Geordie. That's annoying. For you. Something somewhere is sending like a constant input or a refresh or something. Seem to fall for guys in America. Ah. Is there something about the American guy that like gets you, Geordie, or is it just like cruel combination of circumstances? Fortuna drops on PS4 next week. Do I think it will be weird hearing myself in game? I've got to get back to Warframe and play some more of it. Like, I've started playing on PS4, but I've got to unlock Venus. I've got a friend I'm going to be playing with. I'm trying to type very slowly. Yeah, not to trigger it. That's fair. Will it be weird hearing myself in game though? Yes, in a way. It's always, I guess the thing is, it's always hard for me, it's always hard when I hear myself in game to not start evaluating, like, the choices that I've made. That's the thing that gets a bit, not confusing, but it gets tricky. I'm gonna save again, in our second slot. Looking forward to it, though. Accent and looks. A friendly attitude with them. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I tend to find, Geordie, that Americans are also a little bit more outgoing and willing, like, my experience with people in the US, and this is limited, like having been to Seattle a couple of times for work, or three times now, is it seems like in general dealing with Americans, they always will reach across that gap basically to make a social connection, whereas Australians seem a little bit more lackluster about that. I know it's a very, like, that's a very big stereotype, or it's a very big, like, I'm drawing with a very broad brush there. There you go, folks. And have some of that. And let's see if we can... And it's a miss. Oh, this could be tidy. Do have a story about a stream. Do tell, do tell. Oh, I hurt myself. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. Focus on the pain. Let's move back one square. The only thing that's real. Ow. 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 Alright, I'm gonna throw one grenade, and then I'm gonna run around the corner. See, they're doing damage, but it's not enough. But if I'm clever about breaking sight lines, I reckon that might be something. Do I like Stranger Things? Because you have a funny video. Yeah, please! Please share. Do you have a story about a streamer, but it's a bit TMI? Well, look, from my perspective, Geordie, like, you know, we tend to go into things pretty deep here. So... If it's something you're willing to share, then from my perspective, I would say by all means. Like, as long as you're not disrespecting anyone, I'm good with that. I mean, we've gone through in the past, like we've talked about sort of people, the mental health issues people are struggling with at points in time. So I don't feel that like anything like that is out of bounds. Is that something I shouldn't click then, Xenomorph? Is that something that no one should click? I can delete that message if you prefer. Whatever that screenshot is. Let me know if you need it deleted. I have moderator abilities. But yeah, Carnage, going back to like the dev stream that's coming up, that's I'm amazed at the cycle. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. I'm amazed at the cycle that those folks work on. Like I don't think that there's ever a point where they're not developing new content. It's just incredible. Alright, this isn't going to end well. Oh, that was my last grenade too. This really isn't going to end well. Something personal about a streamer. Okay, that might be... That could be tricky then. Like if it's personal information about someone else. That might be more. That might be another thing that's more suitable for chats in Discord, like private message. What the heck was that? Sounded like my gun broke.
Rest in peace, chosen one.
Oh, we're in a tough spot here, folks. This is a tough spot. This is a tough spot. Because I don't think scrounging is going to get me anything. Because I've been through most of the buildings in here too. It doesn't work on phone. Oh, really? The link might want the Discord app. Yeah, that might get tricky. You know how on a phone to join Discord. Tell us more. You could be our hero. That was terrible. I can be your hero, baby. How does one open a Discord link on a phone? You need the actual link. Okay, bear with me for 2 seconds, folks. Just gonna check a couple of things. Site can't be reached. Alright, okay. Oh, good. That screenshot link that was posted then, that goes to nothing, so that's good. 3 dots on the top right of the screen and then press open in tab. Kevin is going to go to Twitch with caps lock on apparently and get the link for the Discord. Copy link address. And just in case I might be misunderstanding what you said when you needed the link, Jordy, but that is a link that is in chat that might help maybe. Digital streams learn from all the rejections that no one had any faith they could produce enough to keep. They focus on a cycle of continuous production. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Carnage. And it seems like, yeah, it seems like they really work hard to keep people's faith on that. It seems like there's a constant cycle of like working really hard and then getting like a week or maybe a couple of weeks of like breathing room. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it too, Carnage, or if it was you who pointed it out to me, but post Fortuna release, like, I had a look at their Steam numbers. No, it was a friend of mine who works on their team. Yeah, their numbers post Fortuna release, the only game that was higher than them in concurrence was Fortnite, which is not a bad place to be. So they're doing pretty well. And yeah, I can see how you could just sink forever into that game, because being on your ship, you're like, oh man, there's so many things that I want to do, that I want to get. I gotta go and do the thing. What's something you hate, Xenomorph? Tell us more. What do you hate? Kittens? Everyone hates kittens. Her. John McClane. Everyone hates John McClane. When people call you cute and adorable. So why is that? Like, why does that get you goat? You eat people. Don't say that on Twitch. It's going in a video on demand. There's proof now. There's a paper trail. So I've got two variations of answer for that, you know? Like, I've got a fun answer and a serious answer, but I'm not sure where you're at, and I don't wanna like try and be serious when you're having a laugh. So is this a serious thing or a fun thing? I mean, like sorry, not fun, but is that a... Are you being humorous? That's probably a better way of saying it. Gotcha. Yeah. Thanks, Jordy. Thank you for shooting that on. I will read that post stream. I will kick back and I'll kick back and enjoy that with an overwarm bourbon because everything is hot. Gotcha. Well, that's why I wanted to check in first. Like, it's hard to read intent. It's hard to read intent over text. And I have friends who hate that, who hate being called like cute and adorable because it kind of it diminishes them. It reduces like what's important about them. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly where you were coming from there. Because you screech and squeak a lot. Oh, okay, so you make a lot of cute noises. Don't want to waste the ice. Well, the thing is, tell you a story. The only times I try so hard to be good to service staff. Because working in hospitality and working in retail, it sucks. I mean, it's good when it's good, but you know, people can be assholes, and I don't want to be like another asshole serving them. The only times that I've ever really sort of gotten shirty at service staff have been basically at points where I've been super low energy during PAX or after PAX in Melbourne, like the 3-day gaming convention thing. And I've since learned to regulate my energy a lot more, basically, to not like get to this point. But I remember I got together with a bunch of friends, and we were looking for a bar, basically, that we could sort of set up shop at and just play a game of Fiasco. If you're not familiar with Fiasco, Fiasco is a largely improvised storytelling game where you're just basically like you're making a story. It's like, oh, well, what if we did like a Coen Brothers heist film in the Antarctic? Like, how does that work? What's the story? Let's figure that out. It's a lot of fun. And so we were looking for a place that we could basically just keep throwing money at to buy drinks. And just basically, like, you know, not be super loud. Like, not be basically, you know, those geeks where you're like, ha ha ha, look at us. We are hilarious. But we just wanted a space where we could kick back and, you know, just be stupid. And we went to this bar, and the Aura Ararium Narat Karam. No, I got nothing. That'll make sense in a while. I'll get my brain back out of story mode, and I'm sure I'll be able to parse that Xenomorph Queen. But PAX is a monster event, and Games Week is a monster event, basically, for all of the folks I suspect who work hospitality around that area. Like, for the entire week, they get slammed by the number of people who are coming out, basically, to drink every night. And we went to this bar, and these staff were they were over it. Like, they'd had enough. They were on shift, though. There was like 3 of them. And the place wasn't that full. And I ordered a neat bourbon. And I, like, without wanting to be precious about it, like, neat spirits are what I drink most of the time. And when you order, like, neat spirits, especially if it's a double, like, it's not a cheap drink. Like, you're paying basically like $30 sometimes for a good double of bourbon. And when you get a good bourbon, like, it's worth it. And it took forever to get my drink. Like, it fell off the order that came in. And then I ended up chasing it up with staff, basically, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll get you a drink. It's coming out in a sec. And they brought out a bourbon with ice. And if you drink spirits with ice, like, more power to you, but it changes the flavor of it, like, fundamentally. It is not the same drink. A bourbon with ice basically is watered down, or a scotch with ice. Any spirits with ice in it is watered down, so it has a different flavor to it. It's lighter. And I like really sort of strong, intense flavors. Like, that's part of why I drink spirits. And so I said, oh, look, there's been a mix-up. I'm terribly sorry. But I ordered a neat bourbon. And so I watched it go back to the bar, basically, and then just pour it into another glass to get the ice out and bring it back. And at that point in time, I'd had enough. And so I didn't yell at her, but I just looked at her, and it was one of those moments. It was one of those moments where, you know, when someone does something that is just so beyond the pale, you're like, did you really do that? Like, is that really what you think you're going to get away with? And I remember saying to her, I said, did you really just pour that out into another glass to get rid of the ice and bring that back here when I asked for a neat bourbon? And like, part of me in the back of my head is thinking like, I'm a dick, I'm that guy. But like, well, no, I paid for something and I didn't get it. Like, someone tried basically to take a shortcut to make up for their mistake. And so it got to the point where I was like, no, I just want my money back. And I didn't have a tanty, but I just asked my friends if we could up and leave, and we upped and left, and we went to another bar, and we had an amazing time. Like, they looked after us. They did what we wanted, which was just give us drinks, give us food, give us what we order. And we were there we were there until like, it would have been close to midnight. Because that was the last day of PAX, and PAX always leads into, on Games Week, PAX leads into Megadev. Megadev is the big industry party, basically, that finishes off everything. And that year, I was actually a sponsor for Megadev, but I didn't turn up until like 12 a.m. Like, it finished up like at 5 in the morning, so like that's when I like stumbled off to my hotel and everything. But yeah, the game like went for forever. So yeah, they did themselves out of like a lot of money that night. Anyway. So that's my story. I get cranky when people try to take the piss. Oh, that's why I'm getting shot, because I'm going back towards those guards that are in cluster over there. I was wondering who was shooting me. People working in cafes and restaurants have a tough job. They feel they have to be super nice, especially if their income depends on tips. Yeah, no, absolutely, Damien Wise, absolutely. And I still think that there is a lot of truth behind that rule of, like, you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat waitstaff. And I always try and be super courteous with people, but when something like that happens and someone's like fairly obviously like they're just trying to skirt around their job, like, you can have a bad day. That happens to everyone. But yeah, when you try to just avoid doing your job. You have 37 words in your language, Xenomorph Queen. It does sound like a spell. You're absolutely right, Jordy. It sounds like a spell. And a White Russian sounds amazing, because White Russians serve with ice typically. So, it's a good drink. Yeraham. It does. It sounds like a magical spell. I did a wonderful gig once where it actually was a invented language. And it was a lot of fun. It was just recording like a bunch of components of that language so that it could get tied together as an experiment. But there's rules there. There's rules there. Like, you've got like vowels and consonants in the right order. Double shot of American Honey. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Like, and here's the distinction, Carnage. Like, I don't expect people to be subservient when they're serving me, but I do want to get like what I paid for, and I do want to get it like relatively promptly. Like, bar staff don't need to love me. I just want them to do their job. The only time that I've ever gotten shirty at bar staff, and I felt bad about it afterwards, and again, it was at PAX, and like this one was on me, is I went to get a double bourbon one year, and the person at the bar told me that there are different RSAs, like responsible serving of alcohol rules, in different states in Australia for those of you who are overseas. And that just means basically there are different things that can be done in terms of what can and can't be served. I lived for a year in Perth, and Perth has more restrictive rules around alcohol because it's what the government has put in place. And so you cannot get neat spirits in Perth. And so I lived with that for a year. And it sucked. You know, it's not a terribly like big cross to bear, but it's annoying. And I got told by this gentleman that, like, oh, well, sorry, we can't do, like, I can only give you we can't do neat spirits. I can only give you like two. I can give you like 2 glasses of bourbon, like separately, with ice. You know, you can sort yourself out from there. And it didn't. I wasn't impressed by that. Didn't yell at the guy, but I did give him a bit of a serving, like a bit of a cranky, like really, and then just left. Not my proudest moment. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Carnage. Like when you're paying for spirits, like if you're going and drinking on your own dime, like you know you absolutely are paying for like what you could get half a bottle for down at the bottle there. Xeno is speaking parcel tongue. Could be a magical incantation. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely, Geordie. Yeah, some bars just will not serve you shots, and I guess that's fair enough. It's fair enough if you know ahead of time. And like, I get why RSAs exist, because some people aren't responsible. Yeah, that paternal attitude that goes on there, that's a tough one. Australia does not treat First Nations people terribly well. I mean, that being said, I've not been in the middle of it, so living in Central Oz, Carnage, do those restrictions only apply to Aboriginals, or does that also apply, sorry, Aborigines? First Nations, Australian First Nations people. Do those restrictions only apply for First Nations people, or do they also apply for everyone else? Like, do they just blanket restrict? Because I guess it would be worse if it's selective. It's your own xenomorph language. Do you have a sentence structure there, or do you know what you're saying? Xenomorph is my question, I guess. Hey, check it out! It's the second stim pack. I'm a real boy now. I feel like I'm building back up. Now see that I can't pronounce. The rest of it I can. You do. Very interesting. Does anyone else know this language? Does your long distance streamer know this language? Or is it your own parcel tongue? I had a moment the other day with my daughter. We were doing basically the we've got to get ready for bed soon thing. And so we were all just hanging out. Lying around. And my daughter's like, I want to read, like, I want a magical storybook. I want to read from a magical storybook. And I've got a copy of the Necronomicon. And so I got the Necronomicon and I started reading some of the description stuff from that for her, but she insisted. Kids these days, she insisted the Necronomicon was not a magical book. Now, I'm not a terribly superstitious guy, but even so, like when I flicked to like the incantations page, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to read that out. No, you don't. Okay, you just made it today. Oh, okay, it's a work in progress then. It sounds cool.
Leora, where I am.
How do I pronounce that without making it sound like where I am?
Where I am. Tura. Virkerea.
Hey Capdef, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. Oh yeah, you must not read from the book. Do I want to know any words? Someone, speaking of that line, Capdef, someone posted a friend who's a streamer posted an amazing replica of the book of, I think it was the Book of Life from the original Mummy. It was on point as far as replicas go. Ouija board chats before bed, yeah. Well, see, I only read from the Necronomicon has like 2 parts. It has the parts that are like sort of the history of the book, and then it has the incantations. I didn't read the incantations. Like, that's my line. You did it. Oh, you mainlined Black Mirror. Everyone, please give. You love tricking people into saying what you type. Oh dear. Well, I may be opening a portal there. Yeah, how did Black Mirror treat you, Capdaf? Because mainlining that feels like that would be like that's a thing. That's some grim TV. We should all give Capdaf a hug. Dry zone at the bar. Native guys get smashed with free cancer TV. I did not know that, Carnage. I did not know that there was a lack of like that there was a lack of in genetics. Yeah, okay, starts getting tricky then. I guess the mix of that, like a lack of basically, like if you've got a lack of tolerance to alcohol and then you've got all of the socioeconomic conditions that then basically put people in a space where they're not in the best headspace, I guess that starts getting more difficult. Netflix had the seasons listed in the wrong order. Oh, Jodie Whittaker's in season 1 of Black Mirror. Who is she? Is she in the Perfect Recall episode? Like the Oh, thank you, Xenomorph. I'm not sure that that's a good thing. I don't know what I'm saying. Like if I open a portal over here, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna stand at the right hand of whatever comes through, and like we're coming for you first. Right? That's the best. It's the best, Jordy. It's the best about streaming. It's the best about this kind of space. You just said I want to die. I don't, but no. I just read that from before. I don't want to die. No. The only death I will accept is the little death. Thank you very much. The French had it. French had it the right way. I'll take that when I can get it. She's Fee. Yeah, okay. That's really funny, Capdaf, because I haven't seen that episode in forever, but like when you mentioned it, my brain went to, oh, I think it might be that. Yeah. Do I want to know any more words? Yeah, look, folks, if the corpse in the corner, like, comes for me, it'll be on stream, like, you've all got it on record. Look, after that Xenomorph, I'm not sure I want to know any more words. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to be saying next. Didn't recognize her at all. Oh, wow. Oh, look, it's a bar full of people. Let's switch weapons. I reckon with this bar full of people here, I reckon some of these folks might have stim packs on them. Let's shake the tree and see what falls out. The rest are fine. See, you say that now, Xenomorph. You say that now, but there's no trust. There's no trust. It does sound cool, though. It sounds very cool. See, that sounds real. I love that word. The one thing I can't do, and my vocal coach tells me it's genetic. Like, some people can roll their R's, some can't. I can't. Cursor for both your houses. Oh, man. How good is Mercutio's dying monologue? I get such a weak spot for the Baz Luhrmann version of that. Dude who plays Mercutio. Yeah. Look! I said you damn N-words! Yeah, Carnage, it is a tough one, because I guess the problem there, like the thing that's the real problem isn't so much the alcohol in that environment, it's the socioeconomic conditions, basically. It's It's the lack of general engagement with community that puts them in a space where, you know, people just want to sort of, you know, wipe themselves out on alcohol. Like, that's sort of the biggest problem there. Damien Wise has a weird story about customer service versus particular taste. And intolerance to tomato. Yeah, I know a few people who have that. Stand a little, but a solid chunk makes you throw up. Without tomato, it shouldn't have been difficult. Oh man, that's super frustrating, Damien Wise. Because I guess in that case, like my case is me just being pissy about what I bought ultimately, and admittedly wanting to get what I paid for. But yeah, when people mess with food intolerances, that's frustrating. Like, you hear some horror stories about servers at Starbucks in the US just deciding, no, you don't need like a low fat or a no lactose milk. I'm just going to give you a regular milk, and then people get violently sick. Frakra. Roma. Yeah, shoot me the rest in Discord, Xenomorph. That way I've got a record of it. I've got a language that I can find out what happens when I say those words. Be an experiment. And going back to your quote from before, Captaf, like the Evil Dead one was amazing, but the Mummy one, taking a moment to appreciate, it is so good to see Brendan Fraser like back and getting work again, because he was so freaking good. And the Mummy, the original Mummy, is such a great pulp action adventure film. Say Violet backward. That's a trap. Now you're starting to mess with the silly one. You want to say them here? Well, by all means, no one's getting harmed as long as no one's reading out the incantations directly. Tell you a joke. The Chosen One walks into a bar. Who's got stim packs? You don't have stim packs. This ends really poorly if I can't find microfusion cells in here. Oh yeah, the third Mummy film was... oh man. That was not good. I'm trying to remember, did they even get Rachel Weisz for that? Did they get any of the original cast? No, Carnage. You're not gonna remind me of Brendan Fraser's run in Scrubs. That was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. It was so good. Like, he was amazing in that. And then what they did with that role. You're absolutely right. Like, it was so good. Man. Yeah, his run in Scrubs was great. He has incredible comic timing. Like, that, I think that's always been one of the best things. Like, he's able to do... it's like Dwayne Johnson. Like, Dwayne Johnson has really good comic timing as well. But I think, yeah, Brendan Fraser has that great combination of, like, his physicality, like, when he was at his prime. Like, Jesus, you look at how he's built in, what was it, Encino Man? And The Mummy as well. I don't remember if there's ever a point where we see him shirtless, but, like, dude's like, he's jacked in that film. And he just has the most exquisite... comic timing. Brendan Fraser was in the third Mummy film. Really? I'd forgotten that completely. So it was Rachel Weisz they didn't get back then. Do do do. Do do do. It was more than 3 episodes though, wasn't it, Carnage? Because I know there was I've got to be careful about what I say for fear of spoiling things, but I know that there was an initial run, and then I thought there was a few episodes past that point. No wires, no watch. That's a solid rule. Like she is hands down one of the best things about Constantine. Like it's tricky to watch it now, having learned certain things about Maynard from Tool and Perfect Circle, like apparently not being the best of human beings. But I used to be a huge fan of the A Perfect Enemy film clip from Constantine. There's an amazing version of it on YouTube that has cuts from the film. And the moment where Rachel Weisz comes back from hell, that scene could have gone one of two ways. She had a thing that she was doing. She was basically off in her head, recounting sort of the memories of her life. And it could have landed okay. It could have just been basically, this is telling the audience something about the character. But she sells that so much. She's amazing in that moment. And you really feel it turns it into something that's absolutely heart-wrenching. And yeah, it's a great song as well. It's just a shame that that apparently Maynard has some bad habits. Rakamada. Rakamada. Oh, speaking of, it's probably gone a little bit ways back in the chat now, but one of the, as a reminder, let me know what is the best thing that has happened to you this week. I would love to hear it. And as a reminder, actually not as a reminder, that is the reminder. The other thing I was going to say is one of the best things that has happened this week for me. Codsworth just popped out before. The trailer has come out for a film that I did, a voice role in an on-camera. Hang on, I'll take a second to explain this. I did a film, I did a bunch of VO for a film last year, what's called ADR, or Additional Dialogue Replacement. Actually, the work finished up earlier this year. And it's a lead role in this film, which I'm super proud of. And it's doing basically dialogue replacement over a live-action performance for actors in costumes. And the trailer came out for that, and I'm super chuffed about that. I'm really proud of that work. And the trailer, the effects in it look amazing. There's a link back there in chat. Anyone who likes RPGs, analyze the story structure, end of the first act, you can tell the GM hates the player characters. Tooling up. Oh, that's on the boat. Yeah, that amazing moment where Brendan Fraser's character just rolls out basically his tool of his strap of stuff. Yeah. Do you reckon though that they hate? Do you reckon that the GM hates the player characters, or is that just the traditional sort of first act complication? The original script for the remake. Interior tomb. Tom Cruise and. Oh, that's amazing, Captain. Oh, that's the bestest. Tom Cruise and Hot Young Woman. It sounds like it's almost the script for a Dan Brown adaptation as well. Tom Hanks and Hot Young Woman. Yamare. Yamare. Hello. Who's up? Oh no, no one's up. I think I remember reading something like that online. And, like, jokes aside, like, Tom Cruise does good action. It's a shame that the Universal monster franchise didn't, like, kick off. That would have been cool if it had happened. But yeah, man, that film was... The Universal Mummy film was something else. Oh, if you're a fan of the Mummy as well, the Mummy, show me... There's the Tom Cruise involvement you want! Show me the Mummy! Show me the Mummy! Yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, no, I've lost it. Doo-doot, 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 doo-doot. What was I going to say? It's a shame that Tom Cruise didn't go... That film didn't go up. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. No, I've lost it. Never mind. Yeah, Minority Report was great, and we've talked on stream a little bit before, because of my penchant for dying. What is it? Live, die, repeat. So we've talked about that in the past as well. Got that thing at the back of my head, the thing I was about to say, and it's killing me. It'll come back to me at some point. Marian Anderson wrote the Call of Cthulhu sourcebook for Cairo. When attending Gen Con, she was thanked... Oh, wow! Thanked by none other than Stephen Summers, who's the director of The Mummy. There you go! So he'd obviously gotten some inspiration from that. That's awesome. I'm glad that one landed as a happy accident. I never watched the video. I haven't yet. No, I haven't yet. Xenomorph. I've got the video. You shot me the video in Discord. And I'm going to look at that later on. But yeah, not during stream. Speaking of dying over and over again, have you seen Source Code? Yeah, I have. Anything with Jake Gyllenhaal is always worth a watch. I think that's about everything we're going to find up here. Still a better love story than Twilight. Yeah, too true, Geordie. Oh man, Twilight. Like, that film will continue to get stick for so long and continue to deserve it for so long. Twilight and it was Twilight that spawned 50 Shades of Grey, wasn't it? Like, 50 Shades of Grey started out as Twilight fanfic. Have I got that around the right way? Never watched the Demogorgon one. You might have to explain what you're referring to there, Xenomorph. I'm not sure where you're going. Oh, I thought you shot me a link. I haven't looked at it yet though, because I'm streaming at the moment, and so whenever I jump off this window, we lose sound. So that sort of stuff I look at afterwards, but yeah, not during stream. I will check it out though, absolutely, and I appreciate you sending it on. Mysterio. Yeah, Source Code's really good. It's an interesting film, especially what it does with its ending as well, which I can't really say anything about because I will spoil it. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It was a good movie. Sad face Netflix running out. Well, fingers crossed, Captaf. Everything's gonna sort out, like, with the... I don't want to jinx you. But, like, depending on what happens with the new job application, like, that might enrich your options in terms of what happens with your Netflix going forward. Alright, so these folks are over here. What's the best way to approach them from? Because I want a doorway. I want a doorway! Because if I come around here, that gives them line of sight. Good interview yesterday. Was that the one where you talked about the reference checks? Like, these things can... I know it doesn't... Oh, son of a... Where'd you come from? I know it doesn't help with the time frames you're moving on, but, like, these things can take a little while, like, inside an organization. Alright, let me just take a second to catch up with chat. Did it? and did it 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 and did it. Scanning. Yeah, Stranger Things 2 was good. Still, like, more Dave. Want more Dave. So looking forward to the new Hellboy. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing in everything. Like, if you're a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, then you've got to go watch Nightcrawler as well. Nightcrawler is just so good, and he's so creepy. Have to wait through the weekend. Pop. Yeah. Well, I'm crossing everything for you. That is a combination of vowels I cannot pronounce, Xenomorph Queen. That is a combination of vowels I cannot pronounce. Oh, hey! Speaking of... you're doing the American tourist thing. If I can't pronounce it the first time around, you're just going to say it at me loudly and slowly. I see. That's how we go. Oh, he's playing Mysterio! That's right, Geordie! Sorry, I missed... You're absolutely right, and I've seen some production shots of that, and it looks awesome. That's going to be super exciting. Yeah, I hope you sent me those words. I hope you sent me those words in Discord as well, because the problem with it being just in chat is I'm gonna lose the thread. I'm gonna lose the thread, Xenomorph Queen. It's the consonants that are the problem. It always is. Yeah, so excited for Mysterio, especially because that's going to be a really interesting. Well, I guess we already had like a really good disparate age, like a big age difference with Vulture, and boy howdy, was Michael Keaton's Vulture good. Oh, Captaf, if you haven't seen the Tom Holland Spider-Man, I don't want to jinx it, but I found it to be probably the best Spider-Man adaptation yet. That being said, I haven't seen, if you're looking for a Spider-Man film, Spider-Verse comes out December 13th, tomorrow. Comes out freaking tomorrow. Does ammo weigh anything? Yeah, it absolutely does. Ammo does have a weight in Fallout 2. That's why I've had to get rid of. The meaning is... It did mean... Okay. Well, that's certainly one way to go, Xenomorph. It's an interesting choice of things to say. Do 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 do. Do do do. Yeah, Homecoming's worth seeing. Homecoming is worth seeing. Like the Tobey Maguire one, like they're all good in their own way. Like they all have amazing moments in them. All right, I'm gonna save again. Donnie Darko. Yeah, that was one of his that was like his breakout role, wasn't it? Like his first big role. He was amazing in that. And yeah, Maggie was great too. Like she's always been amazing. She was great in... Yeah, she was in both Batmans. No, she wasn't. That's right. Because it was Katie Holmes in Batman Begins. But it was Maggie playing the same character in Dark Knight. Barely seen any new movies for the last 2 years. Is that time, Captaf, or is that just your circumstances? And in terms of films that you've missed, I think if you didn't see Solo, like I get the feeling you didn't miss a lot. Haven't been to the cinema since Last Jedi. Yeah, I feel you all, Jody. And like I feel folks in general. Like if you don't get to the cinema much, most of my films I watch at home. I had a really good time on Monday watching Alien with my film buddy. Watching it at home on DVD. Okay, so Deadpool, Wonder Woman, Last Jedi. The one with Sherlock and the Cape. Infinity Wars? Happy with Tom Holland as Peter Parker. Yeah, I'm with you, Carnage. Like, Tom Holland, I think, is the... Like, there's just something about him. He embodies Peter Parker. Like, the best I've seen out of any of the actors so far. Yeah, that's fair. But the other thing too, like, films are expensive, and maybe this goes back to like being a grumpy old man. But I always find it's really hard. Ow. Oh wow, I'm glad I saved. Critically hit for 32 points. Oh, that was Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange with with Cucumber Bramble Snatch. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but yeah, the joke, like, the name thing is just so good. Can't remember the name of the character. And he hung out with... I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, it was Genghis Khan. The guy played Genghis Khan, whose name I'm now blanking on because it's late in the day. Alright, we'll be here, Xenomorph Queen. Thank you for the translated apology as well. Benedict Wong, thank you so much, Geordie. He's amazing. In the Marco Polo... Was it Marco Polo? No, it wasn't Marco Polo, because Marco Polo was about... No, it was. Hang on, I'm gonna Google now. We're gonna lose sound for a second because Kevin's brain's not working. Benedict Wong. Marco Polo. Yeah, it was Marco Polo. He was in Marco Polo. I like the bits of Marco Polo that focused on the Khan. I wasn't a big fan of like the insertion of unnecessary white guy. Possibly the least interesting part of the whole show. Which, you know, is being a bit unfair. The guy was a good actor, but I wanted to see the internal Khanate struggles. That was the good stuff. Oh man, Secretary. That is a great film. An interesting conversation too. Like I've talked to people who feel that like it misrepresents, like Secretary actually misrepresents BDSM relationships, which is an interesting conversation. Because it seemed like a very positive depiction, but I guess if there are things it's not doing well. Oh, that wasn't terribly impressive. Oh yes, I saw that video, Carnage, of him saying penguins, and he just keeps trying to say penguins over and over again. Like he actually comes off in that video as a nice guy because he's just basically he's goofing around and trying to say the right word. Yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal is always it's always an indication of the fact that a film is going to be good. All right, get 6 shots here. Let's make them all count. That is not the way to make them count. It's funny the words that can... Hang on. Captaf, are you saying that Doctor Strange is also hot? Because, you know, I wouldn't disagree with you. He's got good bone structure. Or are you saying it's also hot where you are? Because, yeah, you're suffering with the rest of Melbourne. It's weather. I wonder what the storm... Come on, why is it 51%? I'm right in front of this person. This is not cool. My numbers should be better than this. Alright, let's bridge the gap. Let's reach out and touch someone. Huh. That'll do. A pair of Benedicts. Yes, absolutely. Doctor Strange was a pair of Benedicts. Ex-Benedict. Oh, is Cumberbatch the voice of the new Grinch? It is late in the day and it is always hot. Yeah, it is also hot. Like, it's 11:30 p.m. And I can feel, like, the, my Shima, if I'm pronouncing it correct, Shima, or I should know how to pronounce this. Like, it's basically dry. I drenched the thing before I started streaming. Unless it's in his hands. Bone structure in hands is terrible. That's a fair cop. I actually noticed in Infinity War that they still have scarring on the hands. I thought that was really cool. It was good attention to detail. Yeah, I remember growing up in Brisbane. Like, one of the things that I would always do is go for, like, late night walks, like 3 a.m. And it would still be hot. It would still be hot at 3 a.m. And that's something that's not supposed to happen. There we go. There's my death. That's something that's not supposed to happen in Melbourne. Like, it's supposed to cool down.
Carrion eaters are interested in your radiated corpse.
It's still 31. That explains why it still feels so hot. That's nuts. No. Stop it, weather. Stop it, weather, and stop it, people who are like, no, climate change isn't real. This is all just an inconvenient thing that's happening. Let's just set the entire Earth on fire. Why not? That's hot. Alright. Take two. That was not a good angle to come at these people from. Oh yeah, I forgot to... There we go. Let's do the thing. Well, it's a comfortable territory, Damien-wise. Oh, sure, summer being hot's a thing, but there are patterns. Like, there's patterns of weather that you have in different places. Like, I grew up in Brisbane, and Brisbane is more tropical, and in Brisbane you would get this weather. And you would get, and I'm wondering what the storm's going to be like when it breaks, because they're telling us we're in for a storm tomorrow. I remember in Brisbane, you would get storms basically that would be like God just deciding that a certain suburb shouldn't exist anymore. Just looking at a map and going, Ashgrove, gone. But Melbourne, and like, I've only been here for 10 years to be fair, but Melbourne it feels like doesn't do that as much. Like, it cools down in the evening and it doesn't have like big tropical lightning storms, but those things are spreading further south. Like, we're getting weather patterns that I've associated more with like being further up. Like, further north. So yeah, I hear you, Geordie. Like, yeah, summer's gonna be hot. Like, deal with that. But by the same token, there are patterns that you expect from certain places. Alright, I've got 6 shots in this gun. I'm gonna stick with this gun for as long as I can in this encounter, because it's gonna do the best for me. But yeah, 30 degrees at 11:30 p.m. at night. That feels extreme. It feels extreme for Melbourne. It makes me unhappy. Save. I did save before though. Alright, I reckon I can take a single shot. You missed. See, RNGesus hates me at the moment. Alright, let's start drawing him out. Let's go back to here. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Doctor Strange is a solid film. Like, I think that they had a real challenge there in that a lot of the character traits of what makes Doctor Strange overlap pretty strongly with Tony Stark, and they kind of play with that when the characters meet up. But he still feels distinctive. It's a fun film, and I like the way that they resolve their I like the way they resolve their climax too. It's not quite where I want it to be. I want it to be breaking their line of sight. Oh, I see. Well, thank you for the reminder. I very much appreciate it. That was terrible. And now I'm going to go break line of sight again. Yeah, that's time watch carnage, those ranks. It's just recognition for spending time around stream. Can I son of a there we go, dead again. Tilda Swinton. Yeah, Tilda Swinton's good in that film. Like, she's good in Doctor Strange. I think it's a complicated character. I think the only downside with the role that she has, and it's a similar thing to what they had to deal with Mandarin, is there was what was like admittedly a racist stereotype that the character was, like, you know, the ancient Asian grandmaster. And there was no way there was never gonna be an easy way to resolve basically the issues with casting around that role. Away on an adventure. That sounds exciting. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending your Friday night, like, you know, with an eye over here and being in chat. I appreciate that. Hope we're being good company for you. But yeah, Tilda Swinton, like that. All of that being said, like with the complications around the Ancient One, I think her character was called. Tilda Swinton's pretty amazing in everything. Like, again, in Constantine, she's one of the most fun parts of that movie. Good night, Geordie. Thank you so much for your company. Have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to crossing paths with you whenever that happens again. It's not going to let me get through those trees. That's a bit silly. See, I should have line of sight on them. I don't really want to throw a grenade, like, just around, but what I want to do... Oh. Oh. What's all this stuff? Money. Cattle prod. Mostly just weapons. Useless stuff. Yeah, and I think it's a fair criticism in some ways, but yeah, absolutely agreed. Like, Tilda Swinton is amazing in, like, whatever she does. Oh, if you're, actually, the perfect intersection. Oh, wow. How's it going? How's it going being apart for that long? Like that seems like that would be potentially tricky. Or is that something that you're both accustomed to as part of life's adventures? And if that's a personal question, then you can just tell me to fuck off, or you know, there is obviously no obligation to answer any question. There we go. Let's get them. I wonder if I can go into the correction center. I wonder if that would do what I want. Because what I want is just to not get shot at. Like that. Do 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 do. Ow. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. I'm excited for her and for you both, for her having that opportunity. That's fantastic. All right, let's see if we can't do this by being in the doorway. This is how we've won every encounter. It's by cheesing the... Well, not cheesing, it's by being very careful about our lines of sight. I mean, to be fair, like in every good Western film, do the people who want to win the firefight stand out in the middle of town square? No! They pick a good place with good cover. I don't like those numbers yet, and I've got very limited ammunition there. Who would have thought that 10mm ammunition would be the thing that's going to make or break me here? Oh, congratulations. That's a long run. And more power to you. Like, not everyone can do long-term relationships. Long-distance relationships. Not everyone can do long-term either, but you know, that's a whole separate thing. You should be more impressed with that. Be more impressed. There you go. Alright, well, let's get rid of our prone combatant first. And then, let's go around the corner. Let's give up some space. Ow. A tactical use of the environment. Hello, I've just been handed a note. The Star Guide says it's referred to as a tactical use of the environment. Thank you very much. Tactical use of the environment, I'll take it. Doors and corners. As a fan of The Expanse, doors and corners. Alright. Now we're gonna switch weapons. Might as well get a heal going on. See, this is the other thing I've learnt the hard way, and I'm trying to keep a hold of from Fallout 1, which is whenever I crack open this inventory, I've got to make maximum use of it. For example, my weapon has no ammunition. Let's fix that by putting ammunition in it. That reminds me, speaking of tactical use of the environment, if you like fight choreography, I was having a conversation with someone about this recently. God only knows like why it came up. But Jeff Amata, who worked with Brandon Lee on a few of his films, before we sadly lost Brandon Lee, don't use a stim pack, because you're outside, you're not the one I'm fighting, and you're... Really? Really? Jeff Amata has this amazing style of fight choreography where people use the environment and it flows through basically the space that people are fighting in, and it always just looks amazing to watch, and it feels so ugly. Like there's a Jet Li film called Kiss of the Dragon where a fight sequence like goes through basically it goes through like a laundry area like in a hotel. And there's this moment where like Jet Li, and it feels completely organic, like reaches and picks up an iron and then just like steams someone's head. And man, it's just ugly and it's messy and it works. Alright, so I've got until you decide that you're going to pick up. You're going to use the weapons that you've got on you. So I'll make the use of that time. Western films. Line of sight is good for a camera, for aiming a lens, and also for wielding a gun. Oh, okay. So is your point there, Damien Wise, that emulating or reflecting the line of sight of a character in a Western film can give like a really evocative shot? Like it's a way of using the environment? Tell me more. Oh, that sounds fantastic, Carnage. So moving to Darwin in a few years, probably, in a health research center, genetics and parasitology. That's awesome. I hope that comes to pass for you. You're smart people. Smarter than me, that's for sure. Doing important work, too. Reminds me, when I was at my work Christmas party, this is for the day job, so this is like a tech job, Christmas party. At one point, I started talking to, like, not in a creepy way, but just because they weren't engaged in the conversation, I was talking to, like, one and then another of my colleagues' partners. And I'm so glad I did, because like the two things I do, like I've got a background in IT and I do voice work, and I love voice work. Like for me, it's the best job in the world, but you know, let's be honest, I'm not saving lives. It's not critical. Like if I don't do my job, you know, bad things don't happen. And so like I found that I got to hear stories from these amazing people who do amazing things. Like in one case, one of my colleagues' partners, she does basically crisis prevention in a chemical plant. So she's constantly treating it basically as this puzzle of flow of process through the plant and looking at like how do staff get trained in order to prevent or to be able to deal with worst case scenarios. Where are the potential bottlenecks? Like what are the things that could potentially go wrong? What are the cascades from all of those? Huge stuff, like, you know, she's literally saving lives. I was blown away by that. Or not, I should say, blown away by that. Neither are her colleagues, because she does her job. But, like, all jokes aside, it was amazing. And the other person that I talked to, like, she's part of an organization that helps refugees set up basically charities that help people in the countries that they've fled. So essentially like diaspora refugees, like helping them help their countries. Just huge. So yeah, I'm so glad I did that. And these are people who are kind of sitting off at the sidelines, like they weren't really engaged in conversation while we were talking about like stuff that was just far less important. Her uncle runs the parasitology labs up there. She's got a family tie-in opportunity. Oh, okay. Nice. 10 minutes, Mr. Power, and then I'm off. Yes, or we're going to go into time extended. But notice, the guards are dead. So let's see if we can get in. Let's science this computer. Fails to learn anything. Yeah, I know I can see it. I want to use it. Can I just walk in? I should just be able to walk in. We're in the vault! We're in the vault. We're in it. Yes! Blood for the blood god. Or something. We did it. You said you'd never make it, but you finally got through. And for all of you who've made it, this one's made for you. Alright, let's see what happens next. I've saved recently, so... let's get a more descriptive save, so I can remember it for next week. Didn't even have to get back to a major city to resupply. But, if I can't find the microfusion cells in here, we are in trouble. It's always nice though, Carnage, it's always nice when family can give you a help out in some way, like that's how it's meant to work. Number of people I talk to though where that's just, it's not the case. Where family are just, and that's my, yeah, it's my personal experience too, where family are a complication, not an assistance. Glowing green bars, alright, let's see if we can find out more. The more scientific approach. Let's science it. First aid. Science is my weak spot here. We're not built for this. Director puts you right there by giving a point of view perspective. Invest personally. Yeah, that's a really interesting point, Damien Wise. And that's why I think I guess whether you regard it as a Western or not is tricky, but I think that the approach that a show like Deadwood takes to, you know, to a frontier story keeps it compelling and keeps it feeling modern. Okay, thank you for expanding on that point. I really appreciate that. I haven't seen it yet, but there's a film with Robert Pattinson and Guy Pearce which looks really good, which kind of looks like it's a modern Western. It's like it's a post-apocalyptic film. Although I'm struggling to remember the name of it at the moment. I'm not going to pop out of the window to remember. It'll come back to me later. Or if anyone wants to look at like Robert Pattinson's filmography. What am I fighting? What's around? I get the feeling it's going to be robots and I don't really want to fight robots. Show me! What? Nothing. Alright, I'm out of combat. Good. Door appears to be locked. Hang on, I will pop out and I'll Google it again then. I'll Google it, or not again, I'll Google it once. My brain's starting to go. Guy Pearce. Robert. The Rover, that's it. Thank you, Google. Didn't even have to go to a page. The Rover looks really good. Post-apocalyptic film, but I think there's shades of like a Western in there in terms of what it's doing. Your lack of skill has jammed the lock on this door. Wow, these locks are tough. Failed to pick the lock. Ah, he's done another Western this year. Okay. I did not know. I'm interested. I have to check it out. Thank you for letting me know. I've learned something tonight. Who else is in that? Oh. I wonder if I've seen a trailer for that then, somehow. Oh, that's awesome. That's throwing such shade on Fallout 1. 15 water chips just sitting in a box. Oh, man. 10 water chips. Ah, I think the gag is that like all the water chips ended up getting like sent to this vault. Look at it, just water chips everywhere. Oh, Mia Wachowski was in it. Oh wow, that sounds awesome. All of the water chips, yeah, every water chip ever. That's like all. It's the only thing that's in this room. 3 minutes to go. So folks, if you haven't let me know yet, I would love to hear what is the best thing that has happened to you this week. Store's stuck. It'd take a very strong person to open it. That is not me. That is not me without combat meds. The door appears to be locked. Oh, I'll lock that door. Oh, I'll pick the lock on that door, rather. Let's see what we find in here, if it's just more water chips. Probably is going to be more water chips. Yep. Alright, that's the gag. Oh, hang on. What do you take, ammo-wise? 10mm pistol. Well, give me the ammo out of that, and I'll pop that in my good gun. Oh, I should have thought of that before. I can scrape by with 10mm ammo by just grabbing weapons that use 10mm. Gotcha, yeah. And again, crossing fingers for you for that, man. I really hope that gives you a path forward. Doo-doo-doo. Capdaf, you're officially in charge of vetting clever titles for episodes too, because your Aura of Worlds title from last week, or from this week, was from yesterday, I should say. Your suggestion was awesome. Door appears to be locked. That I can open. So I guess this is like a 50-50. Like you've either got, it's assuming you've either got lockpicking or you've got high strength. Oh, you should be. Your puns are on point. They're awesome. Like as a person who loves a good pun. You absolutely should be proud of them. I'm glad I reloaded. Alright, what am I looking at? The F? Why the hunched posture? Why the hunched posture? Got some of Xenomorph Queen's like language obviously sticking in my palate. What is that? Apart from something I'm going to shoot. Oh, that's awesome. Supply guard. Well, there you go. Not guarding anything now. Who else is nearby? Guarding anything now. Pocket lint. We'll take it. It is indeed. I'll save, because it's probably about time. It's probably about time to wrap up. Alright, let's have a look-see. Do we want to raid? How are we going for numbers? Yeah, we could raid. No, not at all, Carnage. Not at all. You're that... Life happens. You do things. Let's see if we can find anyone playing... Because I guess the trick here is going to be... anyone playing Fallout. It's probably going to be playing Fallout 76. And so... If we can find someone who's got small numbers, send some love their way. Otherwise, it might not be worth it. No, don't do that. No, not channels. Thank you. Because I think last time we looked for folks who were... My pleasure, Capdaf. Have a wonderful weekend. Alright, let's see if we can find someone who's playing Fallout 2 in English just before we wrap up. No, we're the only ones. Alright. So yeah, I'm the only one with Fallout 2. I am indeed. You have thousands of parasitic worm specimens in your house. That sounds vaguely terrifying. Alright, so as promised, Friday nights are about the best things that happened to you this week. Let's see. There were 3 things that came to mind. I'm going to see if I can remember them now at the end of the night. I had a wonderful time with my film buddy on Monday, like hanging out and watching the original Alien film again. That was so good. It's been ages since I've seen it. And it was a wonderful experience. Also, the trailer for the film that I have a role in it, that I have a major role in it, like that coming out this week was a big thing for me as well. Like that was a huge plus. And is there a third one? Is there a third one? There was a third one, but it escapes me at this point in time. Just let me think for a moment. Oh yeah, as well. Like we're getting closer and closer to the 100 follower subathon for Hitman 2 as well, which is awesome. So every step we take closer to that is one that feels really good, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Otherwise it's been a good week as well, but for anything else I'd have to start speaking in vagaries, and that starts getting confusing. So thank you all for your company this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor having you with me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will be back streaming. I've got to look at what I'm streaming on Monday for Monday Madness, but otherwise, for Fallout, I will be back next Friday streaming again, digging through the vault and seeing what we can find here. Be well, and stay safe in the wasteland.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out some of our other videos, and for live content, come join me on Twitch.